working languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital.
還元一級の先というのは、本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is alfil. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant. Okay.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time. And we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
ça, ça, c'est ça, ça, che c'est ça, non ça, c'est ça, sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyper Polyglotting avec Élise. Moi c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux. Surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique, de l'acquisition des langues.
10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Nej. Nej. Man. Igen. Jo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bakbaz. Bakbaz? Okay, Bakbaz is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon.
Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner.
Hello and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I'm Elise, translator, writer, and editor with 20 working languages, and this is the stream where we're going to play some chess just to start out, and then we're going to do something, an idea that I have as sort of a new segment, which I'm calling a resource audit. Which the idea here is to look for specific languages and look at what resources are available on YouTube in particular for learning them. And we're going to start with Albanian because I was thinking of actually working on that. That's a language I've been curious about for a long time, and I was reminded of it by an episode of Bookish that I saw the other day. And so I decided to just look around and see what there is to use for somebody just getting started out in Albanian. And so we're going to look at that. How's everybody doing, chat? Yeah, that'll work. And let's get started. Okay, got the white pieces. And gonna continue my favorite Batvinic English. Yeah, I saw that coming. Get a castle. Well, that does pin my f2 pawn for the moment. There is the possibility that my opponent, yes, that's kind of what I was expecting. The thing is, this is a bad trade for black because it's 2 pieces for a rook. I'm a pawn ahead after this. Black's queen is now attacked. What are you gonna do? That is what I would certainly recommend, yes. And at the moment, my knight up on d5 is unchallenged. And it's a very awkward place for... Okay. At the moment, that pawn is pinned, but the minute... Well, black castles, that's going to change, so... Yeah. Yeah, that is something requiring some caution, certainly. Oh, but thank you. Now I can get my knight back to exactly where I want to have my knight. Way up in Black's position. On time, we're roughly equal. Though I have a slight advantage at the moment. Okay. That looks a little bit dicey, but one thing to note is that the queen can't put my king in check there, because my knight is looking at it. Is there anything else troublesome that could happen there? Actually, we'll kick the queen. And see what happens. I mean, this is kind of an awkward situation in terms of pushing pawns in front of the king, certainly. Now, this continues to be a very awkward place for my king to be. But this is not an unawkward place for the queen to be. Okay, Vlog is currently oh, that was awkward.
this is why a knight on d5 is a monster. The forks can fuck you up. Okay. This is now a fairly sensitive kind of situation. Okay, I've got a knight doing its little blockading thing. But that just holds the situation in suspense. Okay, is there any way that I can... Oh, yes, there is. Hello. Okay, off to a very nice little start there. GG's. How's everybody doing, chat? Okay. Snowpocalypse was announced for... I gotta look at the analysis on this. For sometime in the afternoon. So far it hasn't happened. It's gone. It's utterly overcast and it is wicked cold.
But so far, very little snow has actually been seen. Yeah, that was not a great move. Oh. That was not the move for my opponent to play there. Nor was that. That got me exactly where I wanted to be. Okay, I really screwed up. Oh, apparently I really screwed up here. It didn't hurt me in the game. Oh, yeah, I can kind of see that. That I'd actually considered activating my queen. Because from there, there's actually an option of a potential mate in one. I was thinking king safety. Yeah, that was fairly disastrous. As was that. Yeah, that is a good example of why it pays to stop and think about a move for a second, because I didn't see that for initially, and that was the game-winning move in the end. It is. We've reached the point in this winter where we're having to drip the faucets in hopes that they don't that the pipes don't freeze. Load me tacos from Brazil. Ah, my mouse is being annoying. Are we about to get one of my favorite blunders? Not impossible. See, if you take this knight that I put there with the knight on f3, then I get a fork on the next move, and I'm happy. Because I'm going to win a piece. But Load Me Tacos seems to have understood that that's not a great move. Sometimes people aren't used to this setup, so they take with the knight without thinking about it. And again, I'm happy because then I'm winning a piece. Hey, Riveroon, how you doing? Okay, that's kind of ugly place. Ugly situation for my queen, but I have options. Oh shit, it's my move. Okay, what was the last move? Knight F to E... I mean, Rook F to E1. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, it is the coldest I think that it's been around here all year so far. Be interesting to see if the snow predictions actually hold. Okay. We've created a somewhat awkward situation here. Yeah, I actually... need to find a way to get rid of that bishop, actually. Actually, positionally, there's a neat thing going on here, potentially. And I'm kind of there for it. Because I can completely mess up the kingside pawns here. Because, really... Yeah, there we go. That's... Yeah, happy with that. Oh, wow. Well, I hope you got a good sleep for all that. This bishop is really annoying me. Oh, well, let's see. I'll just put this rook on my pawn at the moment. Okay. King is having a little wander, apparently. I'm 2 minutes down on time, so I need to keep a bit of an eye on that. Aw. There's something lovely about being used as furniture by cats. I've always been a fan. Part of what I'm trying to do right now just comes down to winning back time. I mean, at the moment, that rook's not anything I'm terribly worried about. Fuck! That was a misclick. Gotta be fucking kidding me, my mouse. Oh, there's a little re-maneuver I can do here. And I'm thinking I will. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I saw that too. Just another fucking straight up extrajudicial execution. Okay. Oh hell, I didn't see that was a trade and not a win. Okay, this is not going to be my greatest hour here at chess. But stalemates come in all sizes and shapes. since this is a language channel, I will... Here is a chant that is popular in Chile for just the sort of occasion that River Rune was just reminding us of. God, okay. I'm about to get my ass kicked here. GG's. Okay. I'm gonna write it out in chat and I will say it. Ahí están, ellos son los que matan sin razón. There they are, they're the ones who shoot without justification, who kill people without justification. And anytime the military police show up at a protest in Chile, which is basically every single time, there is always at least one or two chants of that. Ahí están, ellos son los que matan sin razón. And the Chilean version of "Killing in the Name of" that is actually one of the refrains. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bio break. Back in just a moment for more chess, possibly not getting my ass kicked this next time. Hi, and welcome to Hyperpolyglotting with Elise. I am Elise, translator, editor, and writer with 20 working languages, and this is where we talk about languages and language learning and all sorts of other stuff, and we play games. This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Perfect. Okay, 3 of 4.
El hospital
還元一級の先というのは本当に誰も知らない字ばっかりでしょうね。私は
Okay, we've leveled up and it is time to pick another language. Morfar är tröttare än vanligt. Maten är färdig. And let's see what we're doing when we get back. Greek. We're doing Greek when we get back. Ben neredeyse her gün okula giderim. Fun fact. Turkish. Hello, Shakespeare. How you doing? Fun fact, in Spanish, the word for bishop in chess is audit. And that actually comes from Arabic. Fil. The same word fil as this. Meaning elephant, because the bishop traditionally was to represent elephant units somehow. Similarly, in Russian, the word for bishop is squab, and that also means elephant.
This is Elise with an update on the ongoing Inessa Armand translation project. We now have 37 of the 38 extant essays and speeches by Inessa Armand translated into English for the first time, and we are just short of the halfway mark on the fundraising progress as well. This enrichment of the English language Marxist canon has only been possible with your support, and it's been a real lifeline for me. So anyone who would like to support this project can find links in the description for how to do so, and everybody who has already supported it has my sincerest thanks.
Ça, ça, c'est ça, ça, che c'est ça, non sa, c'est ça, sol chi sa che nulla sa, ne sa più di chi ne sa. Ecco.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Hyperpolyglotting avec Élise. Moi, c'est Élise, traductrice, éditrice et écrivain avec 20 ans de travail. Et ça, c'est la transmission en direct ou en jeu des jeux, surtout GeoGuessr en dernier temps. Et parle des langues, de la linguistique et de l'acquisition des langues.
10-159. Haven't made a huge dent in it, but we're getting there. Okay, gonna do some Chinese now. Night. Night. Come on. Yen. Yo. 5. Ducks are drinking wine. Bambas. Bamba, okay, Bambas is duck. Okay, I have now leveled up. Let's see what the XP situation is now. 10,340 out of 12,500. And as always, viewers can choose my next language for me just with a follow and a $5 to my Patreon.
Sotto le frasche del capanno 4 gatti grossi stanno. Sotto 4 grossi sassi, 4 grossi e grassi gatti. Un généreux déjeuner. Généreux, déjeuner, régénérer, généraux, dégénérés. Facile. Sì, ecco, la gente... è la cosa che mi dice la gente, sempre che scoprisce che quante lingue parlo. Io sempre avevo l'impressione, diciamo, di che non era così, non era tan così, ma poi dopo di aver visto qualche poliglota in YouTube,
I'm back. Yeah, it was a VA critical care nurse who was doing legal observing, and apparently he was open carrying, but by the time that they actually shot him, he was totally unarmed and also just completely defenseless because they had beaten the shit out of him by that point. And
conce su madre.
Yep. Yeah, we're seeing the same thing. Awkward position for that knight. structure there. So let's see what I can do with it. Given that. Actually, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I mean, the feds are lying their asses off as usual. I'm gonna re-maneuver this knight a little bit. I feel like I see what's coming here. Yeah, I mean, they are just doing an amazing job of standing up to this bullshit under just impossible circumstances. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, that is absolutely brilliant to hear. Okay, we have reached a sensitive point here. Okay, I think that removes most of the good checks. Road spices? There we go, winning a queen. Oh, it was like... I was willing to accept that as terminology. Okay, not a bad way to close out that particular game. Oh, wow. They came prepared, it sounds like. Para hacer una barricada se necesita, se necesita. With our secret mixture of road spices. The seventh one will surprise you. After all, what is gazpacho if not icy soup for my family? And if you want to make gazpacho, you need spices. Don't ask me which ones. I've never made gazpacho. This is one of those decade weeks. Had some slight snow show up while I was on break. Okay. What are we doing now? Okay. Withdrawing the rook, fine, so my bishop is no longer pinned, which is nice. I prefer it that way. There. Yeah, I mean, the aerial footage I saw after the stream was impressive. Like, considering the weather conditions, unbelievable. Oh. White does not want to give up his queen either. Understandable, that. I kind of saw that one coming. still ahead on time, not exactly doing great on material, but with some chances, I think. I mean, what could we see? I mean, we could start to see a pawn run. Just as a precaution there. That way we do not have connected passed pawns on that side of the board. What I really want is to set up some forks here. That is what knights are good for. For example, damn it. Mouse keeps on being uncooperative. GG. Okay, and now we are going to switch gears, and we are going to do the first ever on this stream language learning resource audit. That is the name I've come up with for where I just look for I just go on YouTube and look for resources that are available for a particular language, especially one that isn't as commonly learned. And today it's going to be Albanian. Sorry. Just mostly because Albanian's just a language I've always been curious about, and it's not a very commonly studied language. It's also sort of this odd one out in the universe of Indo-European languages. Let me get my chat widget where I can actually see it while we do this. Good, good, good. Wait, oh. Always on top, so I can actually see it. Okay. So we're gonna just start with it's a channel called Albania. I don't see what the channel's name is. We'll find out in a second.
In today's lesson, we'll practice a natural situation. Meeting with
Shqipify.
in Albania.
Come on, pause. Now, the first thing I should note is there doesn't seem to be all that much like dedicated TPRS, comprehensible input-y kind of material for Albanian, which is not all that surprising because like not a huge number of people learn Albanian. I mean, it's a fairly small language and often forgotten about in the world of the Indo-European languages, but it's one I've always been kind of curious about because it's just kind of there. Let's get some more audit volume on that audio.
When you meet a friend, you
Okay, this is Shqipify, and this is called Mastering Basic Conversation Skills. Let me see where I can put my chat window so I can actually see it while not blocking the text on here. So, okay, so we have a very basic dialogue here.
usually greet them warmly. Ç'kemi, si je? Mirë, faleminderit.
Mir. Okay, this is one thing I did not actually realize about Albanian, but it actually has kind of a soft R. Like an Irish kind of R. Mir. And another thing to note is that E with the dots, with the umlaut on it, at the end of words, and sometimes at the end of syllables, is actually silent, but other times it's kind of an sound.
Po ti, edhe unë mirë. Sa kohë pa u parë. Po pra, më bëhet qefi që të shoh.
I mean, actually, listening to him talk, it actually sounds almost like somebody... The rhythm sounds like somebody speaking Irish. Like, the rhythm and the accent sounds... Especially with, like, te shoh. Because shaw in Irish is, like, is Irish for that. And you hear it a fair bit, our shaw. Edhe unë mirë. Sa kohë pa u parë. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like if somebody who didn't know Irish at all was trying to mimic the rhythm of Irish almost a little.
Gjithashtu. Ç'kemi, si je? Hello, how are you? Mirë, faleminderit. Po ti? Good, thank you. And you? Edhe unë mirë. I'm good too. Sa kohë pa u parë. Long time no see. Po pra, indeed. Më bëhet qefi që të shoh.
Yeah, I mean that. Me bahet chefi chete show.
Glad to see you. Gjithashtu. Me too.
Gjithashtu.
After greetings, friends ask about what they've been up to and what has happened all this time that they haven't seen.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're quite right. That's because I did not switch. Yeah, hang on. Where's my... there we go. Okay. And let me see. Let me adjust the position of this so we can see it and it is not entirely covered up by my head. There we are. That's better. Okay. One thing that is interesting, and I will say I have virtually no knowledge of Albanian apart from like a couple of words. Like I know Shqemi, I know Faleminderit, and I know like Përshëndetje, which is like nothing. And I know I know the name of the language, Shqip. So this is kind of interesting to look at because we have the translation and we have the original Albanian. Mython to Drayton. E njëjta rutinë përditshme.
In each other. A very Albanian expression is poha, meaning so. It's not a literal translation. It's poha means like so, like let me know, tell me what has happened and so and so. Poha, si ke qenë, çfarë ke bër? Asgjë e re, me thënë të
Çfarë ke
drejtën.
bër?
E njëjta rutinë e përditshme. Vazhdon akoma te puna ku ke qenë, apo jo?
Akoma. Wow, okay, unexpected word that I know. That is, akoma is Greek. Akoma means still, also in Greek.
Po, atje. Kemi pasur shumë punë kohët e fundit. Po mirë, avash. Shqyr që ke punë, se pa punë nuk rihet. This is a very Albanian conversation, okay? Po si ke qenë? Çfarë ke bër? So, how have you been? What have you been up to?
Çfarë ke bër?
Asgjë e re, me thënë të drejtën. Nothing new, to be honest. E njëjta rutinë e përditshme. Same daily routine. Vazhdon akoma te puna ku ke qenë, apo jo? You still work at the job where you were before, right?
Vazhdon akoma te puna ku ke qenë. Yeah. Okay, having very few actual words to draw on. I'm just trying to see if I can actually sort of analyze through here. Kohet puna, pun kohet te fundit. Puna. I think puna must be work, I guess. Vazhdon akoma te puna. Kemi pasur shumë pun kohet. Shqyr që pun se pa pun nuk rihet. Yeah, okay, so puna, that must be work.
Po, atje. Yeah, there. Kemi pasur shumë punë kohët e fundit. We've had a lot of work lately.
Shumë pun.
Po mirë, avash. Shqyr që ke punë, se pa punë nuk rihet. This is a very common Albanian saying, okay? Well, take it easy. Thank God you have work because literally without work cannot be stayed, or one cannot stay without work.
Nuk
because it is
rihet.
essential.
Pa pun nuk rihet. So pa, I guess, is without, and nuk is one way of saying not.
Although I thought I'd seen somewhere else that yo is also not. Oh, well, okay.
So moving on, until now we have encountered these two friends talking together when they have run into
Here we go with the word vajdon again. Meshkolum.
each other on the street or something like that. And so they continue Ti vazhdon me shkollën? Po,
Vajdon.
këtë vit mbyll masterin. Më në fund.
Mbyll masterin. Më në fund. Shumë mirë. Të uroj shumë suksese. Ah, there's the word shumë again. Yeah, shumë punë, shumë suksese.
Shumë mirë. Të uroj
Shumë
shumë suksese.
faleminderit. Okay. I mean, it's actually really handy. I like this because, particularly, I have I'm starting from zero vocabulary, but looking at this, you start to see patterns, and that is very helpful. Because one thing I have to say, I'll just give you a spoiler. In terms of like TPRS kind of material, like that sort of storytelling based teaching method that we've seen in other languages, like with the more commonly learned languages, but also with like isiZulu. For example, there's really, as far as I can tell, there's none of that on YouTube for Albanian. It is pretty much, there's a lot of very sort of grammar intensive, very kind of conventional teaching methods. I mean, actually, I think this is this is the closest thing to some kind of a TPRS kind of thing. I wonder if this guy does more sort of dialogue-based stuff. Because I'm finding that actually, reasonably useful. There is, like, Albanian TV you can watch for free on YouTube. There's RTSH, which is the main national state broadcaster, but and there are lots of old Albanian movies actually on there as well, but not really a whole lot of great stuff for your beginner, low, intermediate learner necessarily.
Shumë faleminderit. Nëse ke kohë, ulemi dhe pim një kafe. Sigurisht, kam shumë për të treguar.
Kam shumë, there we go, shumë again. Sigurisht, siguro, sigurno. It's the voice G. Okay, so probably getting that more from Balkan languages than from Italian. Sigurno, sigurisht. Kam shumë për të treguar.
Ti vazhdon me shkollën? And you continue with your school? Po, këtë vit mbyll masterin. Më në fund. Yes, this year I conclude the masters. Finally. Shumë mirë. Very well. Të uroj shumë suksese.
Okay, uroj is like, okay, të uroj, to you I desire, I wish.
I wish you the best, or literally...
It's funny, shum, it's funny sort of that shum in Albanian means a lot, because in Hebrew shum means nothing, like none of something.
I wish you a lot of success. Shumë faleminderit. Thanks a lot. Nëse ke kohë, ulemi dhe pim një kafe. If you have time, let's sit and have a coffee.
Pim, okay. There we go with an actual word where I see how it's connected somehow to Indo-European words, because pin, beats, so piti, to drink, një kafe.
The friend is asking to move from the street to the nearby cafe. There's always a cafe nearby. Sigurisht.
Okay, Albania sounds, just on the strength of that already sounds like Albania might be nice.
Of course. Kam shumë për të treguar. I have a lot to tell you. Finally, the two friends have finished their coffee and they're about to leave, and so they will say goodbye to each other. Let's see how you do that.
Okay. Me vjen mirë që u takuam sot. Okay, there's mirë again. Me vjen mirë. I guess that's I am glad. I feel good or something like that.
Or, okay, edhe mua, shpresoj, interesting, të shihem prap së shpejti. Patjetër, të mbetemi në kontakt. Mirë atëherë. I mean, it really does sound very Irish.
Më vjen mirë që u takuam sot. Edhe mua. Shpresoj të shihemi prapë së shpejti. Po, patjetër. Do mbetemi në kontakt. Mirë atëherë, mirupafshim dhe kalofsh mirë. Faleminderit edhe ti. Mirupafshim.
Mirupafshin. Okay, mir, okay, is like good. Mirupafshim. I see this fsh other places. The kalofshmir. Mirupafshim. You see any of that? Afsh, vowel fsh. Anywhere else, don't make me make that.
Më vjen mirë që u takuam sot. I'm glad we met today. Edhe mua. Me too. Shpresoj të shihemi prapë së shpejti. I hope we can see each other again soon. Po, patjetër. Yes, of course. Do mbetemi në kontakt. We will keep in touch. We'll remain in contact, literally. Mirë atëherë. Well then. Mirupafshim dhe kalofsh mirë. Goodbye and have a nice time. Faleminderit. Edhe ti. Thanks, you too. Mirupafshim. Goodbye. Here's a vocabulary list from today.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Shqip is like the one word of Albanian other than the name for the language that I already knew. Because a very long time ago, I was sat in like the computer lab at American University and I heard some people speaking a language I had never heard before, could not recognize, and I asked, and I said, oh, Albanian. And I was like, oh, how do you say hi in Albanian? And they said, yeah, Shqip. So Shqip I know, okay. Faleminderit, po ti më bëhet qefi. Ulemi nëse më në fund uroj, okay, uroj mbetemi shiqir. Shiqir. Okay, that's interesting. That sounds like that might have originally come from shukur, as in the Arabic word word root for gratitude. Because there is a lot. I mean, it is a Muslim majority country, so Arabic words you would expect to find in there occasionally, just because these things tend to rub off on a language. Interesting.
Today's conversation for you to glance, and you can pause the video and take notes if necessary.
Prop. Okay, prop is again. Okay. Maybe in mir, maybe in catch.
And that's how you meet and talk with a friend in Albanian.
Okay. So that was an interesting video. I'm actually I want to see what else this guy does on Shqipify. Gonna subscribe. Okay, yeah, it was an interesting video. We got any other Shqipify? Okay, all about ch in Albanian. Okay.
Hi everyone.
I mean, and
welcome
here's
back
one
to
of the
Shqipify.
things about
Today's lesson is about a very small but
the sort of the Shqip cinematic universe on YouTube. A lot of it is very grammar heavy. Here, I'm gonna drop this link in chat as well. This is the same guy. And we're gonna see what else he does. Okay, copiar URL del video.
but extremely important word in Albanian. The word ch.
Ch.
We'll see how ch links clauses, works in relative sentences, introduces reported speech, and combines with the subjunctive. Plus some tips.
Okay, I'm getting the feeling that this is like that.
And common mistakes and plenty of examples. Let's go. But first, what is ch?
Okay, yeah, so that is, yeah, I thought it sounded like something that's used a lot like that.
In Albanian, ch is a multifunctional particle primarily used to introduce subordinate or dependent clauses. In English, it often corresponds to that, or who, or which, sometimes
okay.
so that, in order that.
Sort of broad
So it's
spectrum,
essential
then.
for building complex sentences. The main uses we'll cover are as a complementizer for reported speech.
Now, I will say, there is, hang on a second. Trying to do too many things at once. I'm putting hand lotion on, thinking about what I'm about to say, and watching this, and it's all sort of coming together. Okay, let's have another go at that. You don't know, as I've said, this sort of explicit grammar instruction isn't really it when it comes to real language acquisition. But it kind of fits into what I call priming, where you're given at least something that you can kind of anchor yourself to when dealing with unfamiliar input, and that sometimes that can actually help you make sense of the unfamiliar parts.
That clauses in
It
English.
can prep
Relative pronoun or introducer in relative clauses with the
Okay, so
introduces that. So let's first look at ch as a complementizer.
okay, mendoj chai është i saktë. Është i saktë. Dëgjova që shoku im u zhvendos.
In English. So first, ch frequently introduces reported or content clauses, the equivalent of English that. Here we have some examples. Mendoj që ai është I sakt. I think that he is correct. Mendoj
Interesting. Okay, is that like related? I guess almost certainly that's got to be is. Yeah, and somehow a connection of like yes, it's related to that. I'm fairly certain.
që ai është I sakt. Notice that ch means literally that. Now, in English, you gotta be careful here. You can say, I think that he is correct, or you can just say, I think he is correct, and completely omit the word that. However, in Albanian, you have to use ch. It is incorrect to say, mendoj ai është I sakt. It does not make any sense.
Okay, yes. A lot of languages are like that. Yeah, I mean, it would be interesting to do sort of a list of Indo-European languages based on whether you can omit that or not. Like, let me see, like, for example, most of the Romance languages you can't, but in Italian, there are situations where you can. In Russian, you can in at least some circumstances. In German, you can, but it changes the word order.
Correct. Could be two different meanings, two different things separate from each other, but in order to connect them, we have to use ch. Mendoj që ai është I sakt. Another example, dëgjova që shoku im u zhvendos.
U zhvendos.
I heard that my friend moved or moved away, moved out.
Shoku im u zhvendos.
Dëgjova që shoku im, usually the word in King. So when the main...
I'm going to skip through some because I want to get through more of these. But okay, so here we go. Shpresoj që të gjem zgjidhje. That is a consonant-rich word. Zgjidhje.
Verb expresses a wish or a desire, a command, a request, a necessity, emotion, or possibility. The subordinate clause introduced by ch often uses the subjunctive form, so the t plus verb. In practice, you'll see constructions like this. Shpresoj që të gjejmë zgjidhje. I hope that we find a solution.
And now I'm okay, I had kind of thought that t was you, but I mean there's no you in that sentence. Shpresoj që të gjejmë zgjidhje. Zgjidhje. And there's no you in that, so t if it does mean you, it means other things too. Yeah, here we have a go. I Kërkova që të vintem herët.
Shpresoj që të gjejmë zgjidhje. Notice you have q plus t, and then the verb. I kërkova që të vinte më herët.
God,
I
that
asked
sounds
him
so
to come
Irish.
earlier.
Okay.
I kërkova që të vinte më herët.
I
Subjunctive
Kërkova.
is formed by t plus the verb in the subjunctive mood.
Okay, so that answers my question, because I was like, I had thought I was seeing t as you, but now it seems that t. Yeah, okay, so it's a
So
compound
të vi,
subjunctive that
të
they have.
gjejmë, të vinte in the
Oh, like tha in Greek, maybe.
in the imperfect tense. The presence of ch before t is typical and often required. In order to say, for example, I want that, dua që të, I wish that, dëshiroj që të.
I mean, as I'm doing this, I'm sitting here wondering, has the snow started? I'm just gonna give a check. Weather me. Okay. So far, apparently, I mean, we had a tiny bit of snow when I stepped out on my bio break. Weather report is not saying there is any, and I can't actually see out a window down
I
here.
hope that, shpresoj që të, etc. Some verbs
You can
allow the
probably should
t subjunctive without ch in colloquial speech. For example, in written language, it's better to say dua që të vi, I want to come. But in colloquial speech, you can actually just say dua të vi, I want to come. Then ch or that. For example, vëllai që flet është mjek.
Okay. See, I mean, and this sort of thing is useful priming as well. Just because this is something, okay, you have this ch, so it's going to be all over the place because it has all these functions. And it means that if you are listening to unfamiliar speech, you've got one thing that you can sort of anchor yourself on. So you know ch, you hear ch like this, or chata, that you know kind of how the sentence is being divided off.
The brother who is speaking is a doctor. Vëllai që flet është mjek. Libri që lexova ishte
Ledzova. Okay, ledzova, not legzova. Do you say gz or z?
është mjek. Libri që lexova ishte I mirë. The book
Ishte Ymir. Okay, Ymir, interestingly. Është mjek is a doctor. Është mjek. So mjek, I guess, is doctor. But ishte Ymir.
which I read was good. Libri që lexova ishte I mirë.
Ledzova.
So, a quick commentary here. Ch is the most common relative introducer in modern Albanian, simple and neutral. For formal or non-defining relative clauses, for clarity or formality, Albanian also uses pronominal relatives like I cili, e cila, të cilët. You might have heard of them before. For
I had not heard of them before, but interesting to know.
example, you could say vëllai I cili flet është mjek. The brother which is
Flet.
speaking or who is speaking is a doctor. But this is usually more formal or emphatic. Ch is formal.
Okay, we're skipping more because, again, I want to get to more of them.
kesh, unë të this kesh. Or another one. Bëj detyrat që të kesh rezultate më të mira.
Që të kesh rezultate më të mira.
Do
Okay. Më të mira. Mira. Okay, mir is like good. Më të mira. I'm guessing that is related to goods. Bëj detyrat që të kesh
Rezultate me të mira. Më të mira. No, I mean, rezultate, I think we can all guess. Që të kesh. Okay. Kam, I seem to remember being I have, so kesh, I guess, is like you have? Maybe? Okay. I mean, I appreciate the translation, the Albanian plus translation format here. Because despite the fact that this is a lot of very explicit grammar instruction, this actually allows you to develop some comprehension at the same time just by focusing on the example sentences.
The homework so that you'll have better results. Bëj detyrat që të kesh rezultate më të mira. Purpose clauses require the subjunctive after të mos futet era, të kesh rezultate. So we don't have që të ke, ti ke, but in the subjunctive is ti të kesh. Unë të kem, ti të kesh. Për të plus
infinitive, like in Spanish.
Infinitive is another option. Mbyll dyert për të mos lejuar erën, to not allow the wind. But that structure is slightly different in nuance and register. Alright, another...
Okay, gonna skip. Okay, so now we're gonna move to somebody. This is a channel called Learn Shqip. I mean, and as I said, there's not really a whole lot for Albanian as a foreign language learners out here. This is another of the main channels. Like, it's 2 or 3 channels that show up when you're looking through results for Learn Albanian. And so we're gonna check this out. This is Learn Shqip, and they're all over the results. And this is a video about how to use the verb paguaj. Okay, exciting music to start out. That's neat.
Përshëndetje miq, mirë se vini përsëri në kanalin Learn Shqip. Sot do të mësojmë së bashku një folje shumë të rëndësishme në gjuhën shqipe, siç është folja paguaj.
Okay. I was not prepared for him to just be speaking Albanian here. I hadn't watched this. I just threw this in the list. Okay.
Në kanalin Learn Shqip.
Në kanalin Learn Shqip. Okay.
Sot do të mësojmë së bashku një folje shumë të rëndësishme në gjuhën shqipe, siç është folja paguaj. Without further ado, let's start with the lesson. Let's start with the first person.
Okay, so we got a translation and original setup. Un paguaj për ushqimin. Fatura, okay. Duchan, okay, now I'm beginning to think that I was right about shutshur being of Arabic origin, because the word for shop is duchan, which is a little bit like the Arabic word for shop, which is dukkan, and it seems that they turn that k sound into a ch sound. Interesting.
I pay. In Albanian you'll say un paguaj. Un paguaj. For example, I pay for the food. Un paguaj për ushqimin. Un paguaj për ushqimin. I pay the bill.
Okay, it's interesting. His intonation is quite different from the other guy, and he actually sounds more like Russian in his, not in terms of the accent, but in terms of the prosody.
Un paguaj faturën. Un paguaj faturën. I pay at the shop. Un paguaj në dyqan. Paguaj. example, you pay every day,
Çdo ditë.
ti paguan çdo ditë.
Çdo ditë. Okay, almost a j sound. Interesting. Çdo ditë. Okay. So every day çdo ditë. So day is like D something. Per kafen. Biletten. Okay, so I mean, we're learning things about endings from this, certainly.
Ti paguan çdo ditë.
Biletten, biljett, billet, biletto, bilet.
You pay for the ticket. Ti paguan biletën. Ti paguan biletën. You pay for the coffee. Ti paguan për kafen.
Okay, so I mean, the thing that's jumping out at me is that every time something is like an object here, there's an N at the end of the word. Like bilet, okay, like biletten, biletten, ti paguan biletten, ti paguan per kafen, kafen, biletta,
Ti
So, I mean, I will say, this, I mean, this isn't exactly on the same level as doing like a TPRS thing where somebody is giving you a lot of like flowing Albanian input with a lot of visual aids or something like that. But I'm definitely, I mean, I'm finding anyway, there are things beyond just the specific thing that he's talking about, which is the verb for to pay, un paguai. I mean, I find I am understanding additional things just from the combination. So, I mean, this is kind of a choppy sort of comprehensible input in a way, because you get enough words that you can kind of combine them. Because I know cafe. I mean, practically everybody, I would imagine, knows cafe in the world. And biletta, if you know a number of other languages, it's such a common word for ticket. And stuff like that. So, kind of useful. I mean, it would be cool if we had more like TPRS sort of things for beginners in this space. But I find it very, actually, I could probably get something out of this, I think. I've been curious about Albanian for a while, for a very long time, actually, like since the first time I ever encountered people speaking it, which is getting on for, well, like over 25 years ago now. So, these are the sorts of resources that you find when you just do a search for Learn Albanian. And that is the sort of audit that I will do of different languages, especially the less commonly studied ones, on YouTube in future streams as well. I notice it's time to wrap up. So let me just thank everyone for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And I have a new, since I finished, the essay collection of Ines Armand, I'm taking a little break before I move on to her letters, and I found one of the two co-authors of the foreword to the Kalantai book, which is now out, had mentioned this queer, like, communist artist collective in Kyrgyzstan who wrote a manifesto in Russian and suggested it might be not a bad idea to translate it. And so I tracked that down, and I'm going to be translating that. I'm trying to raise $200 to cover that translation, and I am just over halfway through that. I've raised 106 so far, unless there's something that's come in while I've been on here. And anyone who wants to support that can do so at the link I just dropped in chat. I will be back on here on Friday at 4:30 p.m. US Eastern Time,
have a